So I didn't realize until today, actually, that it is World Voice Day.
I just found that out too.
Yeah, so isn't this just perfect that we're doing this on
World Voice Day.
Special day? Exactly. So this is my first episode of the Voice Talk, and you are my very first guest. So welcome.
Thank you.
The Voice Talk is where you will get expert tips on vocal technique, artistry, and expression to help you become a better singer. And I am here today with Allie Tyler, the lovely, just love this woman here. She is a vocalist, songwriter, and the voice empowerment coach behind The Whole Voice, which focuses on the mind, body, soul aspects of both singing and self-care. She has her master's degree in vocal arts and has been teaching for the last 11 years and is on a melody-making mission to elevate human expression. I love that.
That was great. Hi, everyone. Good to see you guys. This is Hi Sierra. Yay! Oh, this is so much fun. So lovely.
Yay. Awesome. Right. So this is great. So I want to know, has singing always been self-care for you, or is that something that has developed over time for you?
Yeah. So it's interesting because I'd never put the two words, well, I guess three words, self-care and singing together before. And that's why I was just so excited to even talk about this with you. I feel like it's such a great different perspective on the voice. And for those of you who are joining, who are singers, then we all probably know, or who are listening to this later, we all probably know and experience what it feels like to sing and to be in that connection, in that flow, and just so authentic, right? In that performance.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, absolutely. I've felt that way my entire life. My parents are both musicians, and I was singing. I think my first recording is I was 2 years old. Hi, Starbuck.
So I'm like, don't mind Starbuck. I may have to go get him, and he'll have to sit up. I'm gonna get him. He's gonna just
you're
talk.
fine. I'll keep talking. Yeah. So yeah, my parents were both musicians, so I grew up singing as a little kid, and just was always making up songs. And it really wasn't until after I got my master's degree, and after I was studying voice, really kind of, I guess, aggressively, that I had this sort of experience, shall we say, where I had a total burnout, like completely. I was in LA, I was doing the whole singing thing, like competition, audition, left and right, roles, all of the things. My entire life depended on this craft, and it wasn't self-care. It was everything but that. It was beautiful, but it had this different energy to it. It had an energy that wasn't innate, and it didn't feel like it was coming from a place where it just felt good. Like the priority was not to feel good. The priority was to sound good. So I think, like I always knew that singing felt good, but it took that particular experience, as life does. We always learn through contrast. We always learn through those really difficult times. And after that experience, it wasn't like a thing where I woke up and was like, I'm done with the opera world and now I'm gonna sing for my soul. Like, it absolutely took years and years to kind of find my voice again, and let go of those limiting beliefs, and let go of those stories, and let go of those a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of, you're supposed to be doing this and you should be sounding like this and you need to be doing that as a singer. And that it took a lot of unraveling to really come to a place of being like, I love singing, period. Like, and I want to do this because it feels good and not because I need to be a singer. So it's a long-winded question and it's a long-winded answer. But
no, I love that answer. And I feel like so many people can relate to that. I know that I can, and it's heartbreaking when you feel like something that you love so much starts to take on another energy that kind of gets away from you, and you feel like it no longer is giving you the joy that that it can.
Yes.
So, I think a lot of people relate to that.
Yeah, and it's a weird art, you guys. I mean, because I think I don't know if you guys, I know there's a lot of singers. Hi, Chelsea. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Now I'm like actually looking to see who's here, but there's a lot of singers here.
Yeah.
And I think that there, in general, if you've sung and you have this ambition of wanting to get better, I'm sure that a lot of us can attest to the fact that like the priorities start changing as you go, and you start losing sense of why you're singing in the first place. It becomes so mechanical and so technical, and so, you know, just a lot of things that you kind of lose touch with as you keep going through it. And I think all singers have to sort of touch base with their heart over and over again about, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I practicing so much? And why am I studying this art form? Like, what is the real point? And for me, it was like, because it feels freaking good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's the same with you guys too.
Well, what do you say though to, Instagram's letting me know I've spent 30 minutes on there today. Well, I'm going to keep going. What would you say to singers who are in a place where they're struggling with their voice, or they're struggling with liking their voice? So and it's not because they're overworking or, you know, they're pursuing a professional career, but it like, they know in their heart they love to sing, but they're challenged with it, and it doesn't feel like self-care to them. Like, where do you start with someone like that?
It's a big mindset thing, right? I mean, everything that we think about something and everything that we feel about something comes from our own thoughts. And a lot of times the thoughts will just be repeated thoughts that maybe we've had about our own voice, or maybe it's that someone that one day in 3rd grade said, "Ooh, you sound bad," or like any of those stories, any of those things can creep back up, and they can really sit with us. And I would say to that person is, first and foremost, your voice is a gift. It is such a beautiful gift. And it is so sad to me that society has pigeonholed singers to be like, to sound a certain way and to be a certain person, when the reality is that all of us were equipped with this incredible thing. And it still blows my mind. I know it blows your mind too.
It does. It's such a miracle.
It's a miracle. It is. Yeah. And go for it.
It's like what you just said though, it just reminds me so much of what a lot of, I was going to say young women, but I think everyone, we look through these like fashion magazines and we suddenly have this, idea of what our bodies are supposed to look like, or our faces or our skin or whatever, all of it. And I think the same thing happens with our voices. We listen to this music that gets, which a lot of it, and it's amazing and we love it and we're inspired by it, but we start to get these really, these ideas about what we think we're supposed to sound like, when we're not even realizing that, they spent so much money in the studio. Yes, the person that created it may have an incredible voice and they probably work really hard for it, but you don't know how much was, tuned or layered vocals and all this stuff. And here you are at home thinking that, you're supposed to be able to sound like that. And again, it just so much comes back to realizing that we are given this really unique gift. No one else has a voice like ourselves,
Yeah, that's such a beautiful, I'm so glad you brought that up, because comparison and that mental trigger of like, I heard it, and so therefore that's right, and therefore that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
The same reason why it's so difficult for people to cover songs, because they hear it the same, like, that's the way that Ed Sheeran sang it, so that's the way it must be sung. It's like, no, dude, like, that's just him. That's that one guy or whoever. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it's huge. It is huge. And I think that is something to take into account. If you are in a place where you're like, I love singing, it feels really fun, I love singing in the car, I love singing to my favorite music, I just like singing when I'm doing whatever, you just like the feeling of it, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna do it loud, I'm gonna like full out, like I'm gonna do it, and then you hear yourself back, right? And you have this feedback loop. That feedback loop where you hear yourself back, we have to know this as humans, that we will never be able to hear our own voice, which is sad, but it's true. It's just it's the mechanics of it. And there's something sort of relieving about that. At least for me, it was like, oh, well, I really like, I don't know what I truly sound like. My mouth is here, my ears are here. There's already a disadvantage in that. So that feedback loop is not reliable. And it's not something that we need to judge ourselves for. So I think that just going into any type of experience where you're singing, if you have this intentionality behind it, and you have this, even if it's just like, I just want to feel good, or I want to feel energized, or I want to feel, you know, powerful when I sing, and you kind of really set the intention of how you want to feel versus what you want to sound like, it's going to be so much more enjoyable experience. You know, I think that it's a big thing. I think it's a mindset.
I love that. I love this comment. Miniature Mezzo gave us, comparison is the thief of joy. And it's so true. It's so true.
It really is. Thank God I'm kind of secretly like happy we're all quarantined, because I'm like, FOMO is not a thing right now, and neither is comparison, and that, like, it's just kind of like we're all sort of dealing with stuff. So it's nice when we can all just be on level ground.
It really is.
Yeah.
So I know that you actually have some practices that you do for this. Would you be open to sharing one of those, or taking me through it? I don't know, or we could take our list, you know, or could we go through a piece of something like that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have some notes here because I was thinking about different ways we can do this. So real quick, before we do it, I just want to break down how you can do this at home. I really believe that singing can be a wellness practice, just like meditating, just like pulling tarot cards. Like, it doesn't need to be like crazy or anything. It's just like a fun practice. So first and foremost, when you think about singing, there's really 3 elements to it. There's the sound, there's the melody, and then there are the words. Now, we can do something where we do all 3. And in fact, a great way to do all 3 is just to pick a song you like. That's just a really nice starting place. If you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, just pick any song where every time you listen to it, you're like, ooh, that makes me feel good. I love singing this. That's your feel good song. That's number 1. That's the song you're going to sing anytime that you are, when you need it. If you are like, no, I don't necessarily want to just be singing along with Beyonce all the time. I want to like make up my own thing.
Yeah.
Then we can kind of dissect the sound, the words. What was it? Sound, melody, and words. So sound, number 1. Let's try this together, Annie.
Okay, let's do it.
So this is super easy. It's just, and this is for the person who is unfamiliar with singing or just getting to know their voice, very beginner. It's a perfect place to start, which is simply tuning into how you're feeling right now. So let's all, if you're joining us, let's just take a moment and just close your eyes for a second. And just start taking a couple breaths through your nose. Just coming back to you. And I just want you to ask yourself, how am I feeling today? Just kind of drop into it. You can ask your body how you're feeling. You might observe anything going on in your body. Maybe you have some pain or tension, or maybe you're feeling just fabulous. You're awesome. But try to put a word to how you're feeling, if you can. Nice. All right, we can open our eyes. So it's a great little thing to just do, period. I don't think a lot of us are really accustomed to knowing how we're feeling all the time. So it's just nice to be like, how am I feeling? How am I feeling today? So how are you feeling today, Annie?
I feel excited. I felt really excited about doing this with you, and I feel excited to be sharing this with people. So I think it was like a joy, but it had some of that sparkly excitement in it.
I had the same word. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, I just feel excited. I'm on the same page. All right, perfect. So you're feeling excited, and you're like, I'm feeling so excited. What would that feel like to express that with your voice? So let's just pick, you don't even have to get technical with it, but just, go ahead and try that.
Should I do the same thing as yours?
Do
Should I
whatever
try
you
something
want.
totally different? Okay.
Do whatever you want. Oh. Yeah. So as you're doing it, you can even see like, I'm feeling so excited. Okay, you sing one, Annie.
All right. I'm feeling so excited.
Yeah, I'm feeling so excited. Yeah, right? Ooh, oh, oh. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
I'm feeling so excited.
Feeling so excited. One day we'll be able to sing at the same time.
I know. I have no idea if that recording is like, it's going to be totally off sync. It's going to be really weird, but that's okay.
It's going to be great. So, you know, you can sing how you're feeling. You can just sing, oh, ah, you can just go,
Yeah.
Ah, ooh, you're just making sound. It's just making sound. Now we put some words in there, and we also did a little melody when we did that. So those are the other elements too. Let's break down melody for a sec, and let's use totally different words. I will, how about this? I've got a couple melodies that we can all sing together. Look at all these people. Hi guys. Wow, so much fun. Okay, so we're all gonna sing this together. Hang on, give me a moment, because now I have the I'm So Excited song stuck in my head. So I gotta think about this one. All right. Okay, so melody. Now, if you are singing for fun and you're just doing your little thing, and you start, notice how Annie and I were kind of making up melodies where we were going, oh. So if you think about that, that has 3 notes to it. Oh. I like thinking about melodies in terms of like what it sort of maybe would look like if it were drawn out. So if it were drawn out, we would go, oh, right? It's got that thing. Yep. Let's say you wanted a melody that had a little bit more range in it. You could go, oh, oh. You can play with that. And there, again, no right or wrong, my friends. We are just playing with melody. But what you want to think about with the melody is, what's the range? Like, the range makes a big difference in how you're feeling and what you want to get out of it. And sometimes maybe you're not feeling excited. Maybe some of you on here are feeling like, I feel pretty not great right now. So maybe your melody is super small. Maybe it's 1 note. Maybe it's just, oh, what's that note? Oh, oh, and it's super simple.
I love that. I love that you can keep it really simple too, because it's, you know, there might be people who are singers or really beginning singers who just feel like, yeah, but when I try to go to that note, my voice cracks, or I strain, or I can't quite do that. So to feel like, well, you don't have to. You really don't, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I love, it's such a good point, because again, the mindset thing, when we go into this, when you're going into this singing, it is not about what you're sounding like at all, my friends. This is not about sounding good. This is about feeling good. And if you can have that intention in it, and let's say you do go for that high note and it don't sound very good, it doesn't matter, because the intentionality is different. So yeah, you can make it a small melody, a big melody. Let's try this melody. Let's all sing together. And this is it's a really nice song that you can sing anytime that you need it. I am all about singing to myself when I need it. And actually, let me ask you this, Annie. Have you ever like talked to yourself like before you're about to do something, or you're like pumping yourself up, or do you ever like talk to yourself out loud?
Yeah, I do.
Totally, me too. So if you guys have ever tried this, let's say you're like, okay, I'm about to get on a Zoom meeting and it's really important, or I got an interview, or I got whatever, and you're talking to yourself. Sing to yourself and sing those same words, and sing kind of an anthem for yourself. So this song, what we're going to do is sort of like that. It's like a little mini affirmational anthem-y thing. I call it a melody mantra. So it goes like this. The words are, I'm letting go of limiting beliefs. Okay,
Okay.
let's sing it too. How about you sing it, Annie? We won't do it
I
together.
will try. Okay. All right.
Here we go.
I'm letting go of limiting beliefs.
Exactly. So then when you hear it with the piano, it's I'm letting go of limiting beliefs. Here's the next part. I am trusting myself again. Can you sing that, Annie?
I am trusting myself again.
Awesome. Let's sing it, everybody together. It's going to be laggy and great, and who cares? You don't have to sing if you want, Annie, but everybody else is going to sing.
Maybe I'll let you do it so that it doesn't get messed up and they can sing
Cool.
along with you. Okay,
Perfect.
I'll just enjoy it.
If you're watching and listening, we're all singing this together. Here we go. I'm letting go of limiting beliefs. I am trusting myself again. Here's the next part. It goes, I'm in constant communication with my creative source within. So it's I'm in constant communication with my creative source within. So here's all of it together. I'm letting go of limiting beliefs. I am trusting myself again, 'cause I'm in constant communication with my creative source within. Yeah? I hope y'all were singing with me.
I love it.
So, and that is meant to, you can hear by the melody, it's very small. There's not much, maybe the I am constant, it goes a little high there because I wanted to do something different. But it doesn't need to be crazy, and it doesn't need to be anything super, you know, vocal even.
Yeah.
So hopefully that was like a good little sample. I've got so many of those little melody mantras, but we can,
no, that was amazing.
More, but yeah.
Well, tell me where can people find you, and tell me, like, I know you have a course going on right now, and tell me about that, and tell me where can people find you so they can get more of this melody making magic.
Melody making magic. You can find me at The Whole Voice Everything, thewholevoice.com, on YouTube. Instagram is my favorite place to hang out. So you can definitely find me here at The Whole Voice. And I do have a program, and it's called Own Your Voice. It's a monthly membership, and it's only $33. It's really, I mean, it was like, I just want to make singing as accessible for so many people to practice at home. And inside of this course, we kind of break down like how to sing. There's so much to singing, as you know, Annie. Like, it's really hard to just be like, here's a couple lessons. Okay, you're good. Like, it's a lifetime practice. So there's a lot of meat to it. And I feel like a lot of people sort of struggle with the confidence issue or controlling their voice, feeling like they're in control of their voice. So this is what that program does. It walks you through alignment, breath, sound, ear, and expression. And it goes through all of those steps that you can own your voice. So
I love that.
Yeah, it's on my website. You can find everything there. But yes.
That's great. Yeah, and your website is thewholevoice.com.
Thewholevoice.com.
All right.
That's it.
This was so much fun. Thank you so much, Allie.
Yes.
For joining me and sharing your singing self-care. And I'm gonna go and, you know, make up some melodies and use some and give myself little singing pep talks now.
Yeah.
Instead of
saying, little thing about that too. If you are struggling for words, because I know words are tough, start with your favorite phrase or your favorite quote, or pull a card, you know, or like just pick up on, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You know, I think that it can just be your favorite quote, you know, like everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. Like, it doesn't, you know, so it can be
Yeah.
anything that you're feeling that day, and just have fun with it.
I love it. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Allie.
You're so
I,
welcome.
yeah, I love it. It's funny because I've still yet to meet you in person, but I, and actually we wouldn't be able to meet in person right now anyway. It's so strange that we're doing this a month after this whole pandemic of, the novel coronavirus has hit. So,
Mhm.
but I send you a virtual hug, and I look forward to chatting again soon. So thanks everyone for joining us here for my first episode of the Voice Talk.
Yay.
All right.
Thanks for having me, Annie.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Take
See you later.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.